Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and as you always know, we have a super cool spreadsheet thing that has all the guides and everything. There's also a full guide for the new 11.0.5 Sobati and also has cool pictures and rotational things. But this video is going to be about the new season. The season 2 dungeon rotation has been, let's say, already for a few days. It's going to be explained, but I'm going to say more or less if sub is going to be decent or good in the dungeons themselves. So first of all, we have Cinderview Midery. Here you have a huge pool that you can do at the beginning if you have done this on normal or heroic or even Mythic Zero where it was the time. No, Mythic Zero I think there was not available because it went strictly until the season 1 dungeons. But if you did heroic at least, you will have seen people that do huge pulls here. So this can be decent two ways. Assassination is going to be super strong here. So at least on the first part of the dungeon, subtlety is not going to be like they say the good route expect. It's still going to be decent. You get a lot of extra combo points to get the your shadow dances earlier and get more secret techniques. As you know, we like those. We still don't know what the tier set for the season 2 is, so it may be better or worse. The tier set that we have right now it's centered about secret technique, but maybe the new tier set does other things that are better or worse. We don't know. Now, Dark Flame Cleft. This dungeon is going to be, let's say, not super bad, but also not super good. Also, in two of these dungeons, you will have to do a little bit of staying away at the beginning of some pools, because if you have seen my videos on Mythic Plus, I recommend that you check that play thingies. I've done some dungeons, and sometimes it's actually worth to just stay and get your first dance. Remember, if you are not in cooldowns, it's even more important because those dances are really hard to come by normal cooldown reduction nowadays. Darkling Craft has those parts where you have some RP or you have to run from one place to another. That lets you get some superchargers up and begin a pool being super strong. Like for example, while you are doing the throwing dynamites thingies, you can just spend the 2 or 3 charges as and begin the pool with 6 supercharges, super strong. Rookery, you have a big pool at the beginning and then you can do a pool with the boss, but we don't know if it's going to be feasible. Mods can be really annoying. Here we are going to be kind of good actually, because we have some places where there is some downtime and also some places where there is like only 4 or 5 targets, but you can also pull things into the bosses. That's also going to make assassination really strong, but subtlety is not going to be super far behind. Now, priority of Sacred Flame. Here, I do think that subtlety has a little bit of an edge because on some places that it's really annoying to stay in melee range as assassination, as subtlety, as you already know. If you have to stay a little bit away, it's not as harsh because you can use Shuriken Storm and Black Powder. Even if you can't eviscerate, um, you won't die by the super annihilation things that there is. You can't really pull many things into bosses, so it's not going to be a lot of super strong thing. But at least on the duo boss that you can do with one mini boss, so it is going to be kind of good to just burst the important one first. Now for the mother load. This I think it's a really good sub dungeon, not because of the way the pulls work, but because you are very tanky compared to assassination. Outlaw is also kind of decent, but this dungeon has a lot of damage that is hard to avoid. Possible, of course, if you time stuns and other things, but other things are not avoidable. Also, the first boss has a damage amp that you can ramp quite hard. You can get 2 balls into the boss and then stagger the last ball a little bit. And if you get your full flagellation with trinket and everything into the boss, you are going to likely do super damage. Assassination, it's a little bit weaker on bosses, as you might know. You also have in the rock boss area, with there's actually a dungeon that I would maybe play Tornado, because you also have those 4 targets and you can get into the boss really good. Operation Floodgate, we don't really know much about this. Theater of Pain, a dungeon with super hard bosses. I recommend sub to do this one, even if assassination helps a little bit with silences and reducing the damage on some pulls. Somebody just has this extra tankiness that might be really useful, especially for our boy Shap and also the Lich, I forget his name, where you get super damage and you might want to have those extra damage reduction things. Of course, as you might expect, playing the elusiveness also helps a lot, and assassination is still a really good spec. I don't think that it's going to be super difficult to play here. And now for workshop, same thing as Theater of Pain. The bosses are super hard, especially the machinist plays, and also it has some random damage that you can get from the flowers, or if you eat a gear or something like that, it's likely that you survive if you are outlaw or sub instead of assassination. But assassination is still not bad because some pulls are kind of annoying to do, and at least at the end it also helps for those silences, although you can likely skip with a warlock or a rogue doing the special tech that we did back then. And that is kind of everything as a first thing that we can, let's say, expect. Now we still don't know the tier sets. We still don't know if the ring that is going to come in 11.0.7 is stronger in one spec or another. I still expect sub to do kind of decent of this. And you also have some RP places in Theater Pain and in Mechagon that you can get those superchargers and those first dances that make the spec quite good. Now, that is everything I wanted to say. If you have any questions or something, you can put them in the description. Also, remember to subscribe and like if you can. And I will see you on the next video.